As fans of the hit BBC series, Luther, know all too well, the show's final season left us with more questions than answers. The ambiguous ending of Luther, the Fallen Son, has left many viewers scratching their heads and wondering what's next for Idris Elba's iconic detective. Fear not, dear fans, for we have put together a handy listicle explaining the ending and speculating on what might be in store for Luther. 1. What happened in the ending of Luther, the Fallen Son? The final season of Luther saw John Luther battling a psychotic killer named Jeremy Lake, who had a personal vendetta against him. In the climactic finale, Luther finally confronts Lake and the two engage in a brutal fight. In the end, Luther manages to subdue Lake, but not before he is fatally wounded. As Luther lies bleeding on the floor, we see him slip into unconsciousness, leaving his fate uncertain. 1. Did John Luther die? The show's creators have intentionally left Luther's fate open to interpretation. While it's certainly possible that Luther died from his injuries, it's also possible that he survived and is simply unconscious. Given the show's tendency to leave things open-ended, it's unlikely that we'll ever get a definitive answer. 1. What's next for Idris Elba's detective? Given the uncertainty surrounding Luther's fate, it's hard to say what's next for the character. It's possible that the show could continue without Elba's involvement, either with a new lead or with supporting characters taking on a bigger role. Alternatively, the show could be retooled with a focus on a different character altogether. Whatever the case, it's clear that Luther has left an indelible mark on pop culture and will be remembered as one of the most iconic TV detectives of all time. 1. What did fans think of the ending? Opinions on the ending of Luther, the Fallen Son, are divided. Some fans appreciated the ambiguity and thought it was a fitting end for the show. Others were frustrated by the lack of closure and wanted a more definitive conclusion. Regardless of how fans felt about the ending, it's clear that Luther has cemented its place in TV history as a groundbreaking and influential crime drama. 1. What's the legacy of Luther? As we say goodbye to John Luther, it's worth reflecting on the impact that Luther has had on TV and popular culture. The show's gritty tone, complex characters, and innovative storytelling techniques have influenced countless crime dramas in the years since its debut. More than that, however, Luther has given us one of the most memorable and iconic TV detectives in recent memory. While we may never know what's next for John Luther, we can be sure that his legacy will endure for years to come. In conclusion, the ending of Luther, the Fallen Son, may have left us with more questions than answers, but it's clear that the show has had a lasting impact on TV and pop culture. Whether we see John Luther again in some form or not, his legacy as one of the greatest TV detectives of all time is secure. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get the closure we all crave. Until then, we'll just have to keep rewatching old episodes and speculating on what might have been.